ॐ श्री गणेशाय नमः। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ॐ श्री सद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। We will chant the first two stanzas together. वेदो नित्यमधीयताम् तदुदितं कर्म स्वनुष्ठीयताम् तेनेशस्य विधीयताम् अपचितिः काम्ये मतिस्त्यज्यताम् पापौघः परिधूयताम् भवसुखे दोषोऽनुसन्धीयताम् आत्मेच्छा व्यवसीयताम् निजगृहात् तूर्णं विनिर्गम्यताम् संगसत्सु विधीयताम् भगवतो भक्तिर्दृढादीयताम् शान्त्यादिः परिचीयताम् दृढतरं कर्माशु सन्त्यज्यताम् सद्विद्वानुपसृप्यताम् प्रतिदिनं तत्पादुकासेव्यताम् ब्रह्मैकाक्षरमर्थ्यताम् श्रुतिशिरो वाक्यं समाकर्ण्यताम्। In the first shloka and in the part of second shloka, Acharya had discussed on the three stages of life: Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha has been discussed. Having once withdrawn the mind completely in the Vanaprastha ashrama and having taken recourse to upasana, worship and meditation, the mind is rendered pure. There is Chitta Shuddhi which has already taken place. Let me clarify here. We understand that the procedures that has been talked about has been performed properly, and if it has been performed properly, Chitta Shuddhi must have taken place. Taking that, or rather hoping that the Chitta Shuddhi has taken place, the next step where Acharya says Dridhataram Karmashu Santyajyatam refers to sannyasa. Chittasya shuddhaye karma natu vastupalabhyate. Karma is meant for Chitta Shuddhi. So in the Grahastha varieties of karma, we had talked about Panchamaha Yajna. Varieties of karma was performed, and in the Vanaprastha Ashrama, the karmas were reduced, upasanas were increased. Where the mind is no more looking forward to acquiring, possessing, aspiring, aggrandizing. All those thoughts have gone. Now what does the sadhaka want? Sadhaka only want that experience. If he had not want that experience, then the question of vanaprastha never comes. Very interestingly, earlier people used to say, Swamiji, in another 1 month, I am getting retired, Swamiji. They said this because in one of the talks we had announced that we want some sevaks, volunteers who can come to the ashram, spend about 2 or 3 hours a day, and then take care of the office and all the ashram maintenance, and so many activities are there, you see. In a small house itself, there are so many things to be taken care. What to talk of the ashram? We have a lot of activities. So we had announced, if there are some volunteers, especially some retired people, may please come and support us. Many people, not 1 or 2, many people have come. Swamiji, next month I am getting retired. After that, I am at your service 24/7. I don't know how many hundreds of people have told me, not a single person have come after retirement. Why? Because they become more busier taking care of the tiny tots at home, taking care of purchases, taking care of some bank work, post office work, like that. Work continues, and some people take up new jobs after retirement. Think. All this is because the mind is so used to working, the mind is so much used to performing actions that it becomes very difficult for them to withdraw their mind and channelize into that activity for which retirement was given. Think. All karmas must lead us to Chitta Shuddhi, and once that is acquired, the sadhaka must withdraw his mind completely from all types of karma, karma phala, everything. And the mind is set only for upasana, where in the Vanaprastha ashrama. In the sannyasa ashrama, even the karma and upasana must be given up totally. Swamiji, karma to be given up, upasana also to be given up, then what to do? Acharya says, the fourth stage of sannyasa ashrama is only meant for jnana yoga. Having withdrawn the mind and the mind is completely at poise, completely quiet. Such a quiet mind is the right time to have jnanam, to gain knowledge. Therefore, sannyasa ashrama is meant for jnana yoga, where the mind has to seek that supreme knowledge of Atma Vidya. And this giving up is a very interesting thing. When that maturity comes, giving up takes place. I'll give you a very interesting example. A beautiful shloka in Bhaja Govinda. Balastavat kridasaktah tarunastavat tarunisaktah vriddhastavat chintasaktah parame brahmani kopinasaktah. Parame brahmani, in that supreme reality, nobody wants to check. Why do they not want to check in? Because they have not got that maturity of mind. Now see, Balasthavat Kridasaktah. While I was a small boy, my enchantments are in playing. So playing, when I say, the mind goes, it runs out to play. And after some time, when that stage is crossed, such a boy will no more go out and play. Why? Because playing marble is no more maturity. Therefore, what does he do? Balastavat krida saktah, that krida is given up. Voluntarily. Nobody much have to say actually. Voluntarily he gives up. And thus when voluntarily he gives up play, the mind requires to do something. Otherwise mind will become a devil's workshop. Idle mind. Then what happens? Taruni saktah. And then vriddhastavat chinta saktah. Whatever he was not able to do while he was a child or a youth, now anyway he cannot do, he starts worrying. This is a samsari's jivana. But a sadhaka jivana is when, at that stage, when the mind gets matured, it automatically drops the previous hangovers. Just as the boy automatically gave up playing marbles in the streets, the sadhaka gives up karma and upasana, because karma and upasana have done their job of chitta shuddhi. It has prepared the mind for gaining knowledge. Just as another very interesting example I may give. The baby in the mother's womb, for 9 months it is inside. 4th month or 5th month it will not come out. Why? That maturity has not taken place. It is in the womb till the 9th month. Some few cases a little early, if the child comes out, the doctor puts him inside. Where? In that box. Incubator, artificial womb. Think. At that time when the body has matured itself, it has grown in such a fashion that it can come out, then it breaks up and come. Like the chicken. That egg, it is such a small cover, such a light cover, but the chicken is inside. When that maturity comes, it breaks open the cover. It will not say, no, I am very comfortable here, let me stay here only. No, it will kick, it will break open the shell and it will come out. Similarly, a sadhaka, when the mind is matured, will automatically walk out of the samsarika chintana. Think. And therefore, he has to come out to enter into that field which he is supposed to do. The Upanishad says, in Kaivalya Upanishad, na karmana, na prajaya, na dhanena. If you want to gain that supreme amritatvam, na karmana, na prajaya, na dhanena, tyagena eke. It is only through giving up can one reach the amritatvam. Amritatvam. That amritatvam is such that you have to give up everything. No hangovers. And then you will find getting into that experience becomes easier and easier. Tyagena eke. Therefore, at this fourth stage, giving up is the most important part, and one has to enter into the monastic life. One becomes a monk. Now, it is not like you go, leave everything and go and start thinking about these samsara. No. Giving up meaning what? Giving up everything, including the thought that you have given up. The mind should no more come back to anything of the previous life. It moves. And where does it move? Giving up is fine. Then what? What should he do? Now look at that. Sadvidvan upasrupyatam. One has to go into that frame where there is a teacher, a guide, a guru. Upasrupyatam. Now the question comes. Many people come and ask us, Swamiji, where can I find a guru? Frankly speaking, you need not go in search of a guru. If you become the qualified student, the qualified guru, Bhagavan will send. Yes. You don't have to go in search of a guru. You become the right student. When you become the right student with all the necessary qualifications, Shastra gives a few qualifications, which we discussed also. Shat Sampatti, that is one among the four. Viveka, Vairagya, third one is the group of that Shamadhi Shatka Sampatti which we discussed, and Mumukshutva. What is Viveka? A capacity to discriminate between the right and wrong, permanent and impermanent, and taking recourse to the permanency and ability to leave back, give up, tyaga of the impermanent world. Discriminative power. Vairagya, this giving up meaning what? Viraga is that by which I have no more value for all all this world of things and beings. My mind has no more any kind of attachment to them because the mind is desirous of gaining the supreme truth alone. Therefore, such a mind gains the control of mind, sense organs, the ability to retain them, uparama, then an ability to endure, titiksha, having faith in the scriptures and the teacher, shraddha, and samadhanam, a mind which is well prepared to concentrate in the learning of the Shastras under the able Guru. And what is mumukshutvam? Mumukshutvam is irresistible desire to gain the experience of my own true nature, gain the knowledge and experience of my true nature in such a way that I no more require even this physical body. Such a student who has gained all these qualifications must go to a guru. When you say must go to a guru, when the guru comes, because when I am matured, the guru will come. When the guru comes, I offer myself, I surrender myself at the feet of the guru. And there's a beautiful description of what type of a guru that we have to search. Look at that. Sadvidvan. Beautiful word. Sadvidvan meaning the one who is a jnani, shrotriyam, brahmanishtham. This is a very, very important point. Be very attentive. When we say jnani, the one who has gained the knowledge of, I am sure all of you must have come across, if you open the internet today, you have so many people talking about Vedanta. Interestingly, even the management science also talks about some Vedantic principles. They refer, Vedanta is such. All the management science has come from Veda only. In fact, Bhagavad Gita is a fantastic manual of management. All the management techniques have come from our Vedas only. And you find everybody talking about Vedanta. Everybody talking about some parts of the Shastra. So is it that only a Jnani, Brahma Jnani, only a Jnani is one thing, but Shrotriyam Brahmanishtham, the one who has established in that supreme reality. And there is one more very important qualification, though it is not said here, it is understood. What is that? In the Viveka Chudamani, he is termed as Deshikaha. Deshikaha means the one who has gone through the Shastras at the feet of a Guru, the one who had been a disciple to a Guru and traditionally who has learnt the Shastras. He is called as a Deshikaha. Otherwise, we have many types of Gurus. We have lot of Avadhutas who come and go. They are all great yogis, they are all great masters, Santa Purushas. Yes, no doubt about it. You may definitely go and take their Ashirvadam. Very important, very helpful. Take their Ashirvadam, have their darshan, do a namaskaram. But having done that, come back to a Deshikaha, who is a Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam Jnani. In case you want the Shastra Jnana, in case you want to know the Atma Jnana in its fullest form, one has to come to Sadvidvan. Even it is said, Tadvijnanartam sagurumeva bhigachet shrotriyam brahmanishtham. Tadvijnanartam. What is that tat? That tat is Atma. Tat vijnanartham, to gain the knowledge of Atma, which is not something far away, my own true nature. Tat vijnanartham sa gurum eva abhigachet. Go to your guru, surrender yourself, and then study. Think. And even Upanishad says, Atma va are trashtavyaha shrotavyaha mantavyaha nididhyasitavyaha. In case you want that knowledge to be got, then Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam are the three important steps for which a teacher is a must. And what kind of a teacher? A teacher who has gone through the study, because having gone through the studentship under another teacher, he will know what kind of thoughts does the student entertain. What is his maturity level? He observes the student. And therefore, having gone to the teacher, one has to completely surrender. And in case, now please be a little attentive. Some people may say, Swamiji, why do I need a teacher today? Everything, whatever you want, including Shastra Jnana, is available in the internet. And today, you don't require a laptop, one phone is enough. Anything you want, but you type, immediately Google Ananda will give you. What? Answer. But you will only get a written answer, but that cannot converse with you and clarify the doubts which is there in your mind. That only a living guru can give. At best, the Gugalananda can make you or can give you an academic knowledge of philosophy. If you want to apply for a PhD, then you go to your guide and there you talk about lot of philosophy. And finally you present a thesis, a paper, and checking on the thesis paper, the guide's recommendation, the university may give you a PhD in philosophy. You may become at best another teacher in a college. Atma-jnana is not possible, please. For an Atma-jnana, for a sadhaka who wants Atma-jnana, he must approach a Sadvidvan. Then, when you approach a teacher, the process of learning becomes easier and faster. If we can take up even that same example of somebody giving a paper thesis on philosophy with some guidance from a guide. Even then they sit together for some time. Academically, if you have to work out so much, what to talk of Atma Vidya, Atma Jnana? One has to surrender. One has to go. And Shraddhavan eva labhate. Shraddhavan only can get. Right? Therefore, one has to go to a Jnani. Deshikaha, a qualified person to teach. In Sanskritam it is said, Sampradayavit Guruhu. Sampradayavit meaning the one who has gone through the Sampradaya of learning under a Guru. And next point is, he must be alive. Very important. You cannot have books, you cannot have CDs, DVDs, or today it is available, videos are available in the mobiles. That again will not give me that ultimate leap. I may get some information, I may get some explanation, but for the final leap, it has to be from the mouth of the Guru. Therefore, the Guru must be alive. Others may be taken for inspiration. One Guru must be there, but the others can be for inspiration. Can give you some backup. You can even go and worship them. Today in our world, we have got so many interesting Mahatmas. Great Acharyas are there, but they are all not the Deshikaha type of Acharyas. They are all Avadhutas. Avadhutas and some Acharya who just comes and goes. They are all great masters. Please go to them. Take their Ashirvada. Very important. But you have to set yourself to one Guru. Deshikaha. Worshipping is also permitted, but learning is very important. And then do what? Achha, we got a Guru, let us say. Then what to do? Pratidinam, every day, tat paduka sevyatam. Every day you have to perform the worship of the Guru's padukas. Pada, paduka, either way. Some gurus permit you to do pada puja, some gurus may not permit you to do pada puja. Their own shraddha, their own certain principles in that pankta will be there. Therefore, they may not give their pada for worship, they might give padukas to worship. Pada puja or paduka puja, tat paduka sevyatam. We also have paduka stotram. Namo Namah Shri Guru Padukabhyam Ananta Samsara Samudratara Naukayitabhyam Guru Bhaktidabhyam Vairagya Samrajyada Pujanabhyam Namo Namah Shri Guru Padukabhyam. Guru Paduka Stotra itself is there, written by one great Acharya, Shankaracharya. Very important. Paduka is very, 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 very powerful. Padukas represents the strong knowledge on which the Acharya establishes himself. The representation of the Jnanam is Paduka. Therefore, Tat Paduka Sevyatam. Please serve the Padukas with all humility. This humility is very, very important. One may think, Swamiji, I have a doubt. What is that doubt? In fact, I myself had, when 35 years back, when I joined the Chinmaya mission as a youth member, for the first time when I went to the ashram, there I saw Pujya Gurudev Swami Chinmayanji's beautiful picture, to which garlands were put, beautifully decorated. The decoration there is something beyond imagination. Excellent. Beautiful flower decoration was done to the picture of Param Pujya Gurudev Swami Chinmayanji. I asked my friend who took me along, who is he? Oh, you don't know him? He is Param Pujya Gurudev Swami Chinmayanji. Oh, you can't verbally ask, but then they will understand. He said, no, he's alive. He's very much alive. I said, then why do you put garland? Because garland for a photograph of a human being is put for a different reason. Why have you put garland to a person who is alive? There, the thought is, the Guru is taken to be Bhagavan himself. That is why in the Guru Stotram we chant, Naguroradhikam Tattvam, Naguroradhikam Tapaha. There is no Tattva, there is no Tapas, there is no worship beyond Guru. Tvameva Mata cha Pita Tvameva, Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva, Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva, Tvameva Sarvam. Guru Sthana is such a very, very, very high state. Guru is placed at a very high pedestal. Why? He is the only person who can give us that Vidya which other teachers cannot give. The teachers in the local schools and colleges can definitely give you the knowledge of the objects of the world. Objective knowledge can be given by teachers and lecturers. But the Atma Vidya, the Vidya which alone can take you to the pinnacle of human existence, to the very purpose of human life, can be given only by a Guru. And that Guru is Deshikaha Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam. And therefore, Tadvidhi Pranipatena Pariprashnena Sevaya Upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninaha tattvadarshinaha, it is said. Tadvidhi pranipatena. What a beautiful word. Pranipatena meaning what? Learn that knowledge by offering yourself at the feet of the Guru. What is that yourself? The ahankara, the ego must go when you go near the Guru. And when I surrender completely, then the ego in me is weakened because of the very presence, the Ashirvada of the Guru. Pranipatena Pariprashnena Sevaya. Pariprashnena meaning when the time comes, you may ask a question. Those days, the Gurukula system was like that. In some organizations, even today they follow. What is that system? Initially, the Vatu, the Brahmachari, is given various types of jobs. In fact, the teacher may not even look at the student. That student is maintained by another person, a manager or another subordinate teachers. Is taken care. The Guru might not even look at him. If the Vatu thinks, Guru is not looking at me, Therefore, I don't know what luck. That means what? His ego has come up. In the Vedanta Shravana, the first step is surrendering the ego. That surrendering of the ego is mentioned with the word seva. And what is seva? Saha iva bhavana. When I perform the seva to the Guru represents Bhagavan himself. In Ramayana, Vishwamitra ji takes Ramchandra ji and Lakshman ji to the forest. For that, Yajna Yagadi karma, he takes them. Because the Rakshasas were not giving him the appropriate atmosphere. So Vishwamitra ji took Ramchandra ji and Lakshman ji to the forest, to the ashram. There, the preparations were being made for the Yajna Yagadi karma. And what a beautiful thing. Of course, interestingly, now the Ramayana is going on in Doordarshan. Beautiful scene, you must watch. I'm not sure whether it has already happened, the Doordarshan serial. There, Vishwamitra ji, the Guru, is reclining on a cot. Ramchandra ji and Lakshman ji, both of them offer Pada Seva to Vishwamitra ji. You must notice that face. So much of joy, so much of respect, so much of reverence, so much of love. With all that love and reverence, both of them with a smiling face press the legs of father of the Acharya. Vishwamitra ji hints them, it is late, now you go, tomorrow morning Yajna has to start, go and take rest. But they would not go, they again continue to do. And then Vishwamitra ji saying things, now these people are not going to go, so what does he do? He acts as though he has slept off. Then, noticing that, both of them slowly go. And the next one is interesting. When both of them go, now Ramchandra ji is lying down and Lakshman ji does that Pada Seva to Ramchandra ji. Brother doing Pada Seva to the elder brother. Imagine that in today's life. If the elder brother says, my legs are paining, do some massaging. What you will do? And then, shall I go? You will ask. Why? Because the bhavana is not there. That seva bhavana, it must come from within. And that joy of doing seva will communicate to the Guru that the joy in you represents the readiness to learn. Think, how wonderful. Our Shastras have guided people in such a beautiful way where, now see, this Pada Sevanam also is observed by the Guru to test the readiness of the student. That Paduka Sevyata. Another very important point is Padukas represent knowledge. So when it is said Paduka Sevyata, meaning my preparation to gain the knowledge on which the Guru is established is seen, is felt by Pada Seva. Paduka Puja. We also do. Param Puja Gurudev's Paduka Puja we do. अजाय नमः, अव्ययाय नमः, अविनाशिने नमः, अचिन्त्याय नमः, अप्रमेयाय नमः. While doing that Paduka Puja, when we chant in Nama of Puja Gurudev, what is the meaning of that? Ajaya Namaha. The one who is Ajaha, birthless. Swamiji. Then do we not observe Chinmaya Jayanti or Ramanuja Jayanti, Ramakrishna Jayanti, Ramana Jayanti? So many Jayantis of all the Gurus are there. That means they have a birth date. Birth date is for the physical body. That body was required for me to be taught. But where does the Guru stand? Where is he established in? He does not anymore consider the body as him. He doesn't consider his mind as he himself. Given up the identification of the body, mind and intellect, he stands, he establishes himself in that pure sattva, pure knowledge. To that knowledge, one has to perform. Also, by doing such actions, our faith, our shraddha in the teacher multiplies, not just increase, multiplies. Certain physical action, for example, in the form of puja, Shodashopachara puja vidhi is prescribed. For what? By offering that Shodasha Upachara Puja Vidhanam, I make my mind offer itself at the feet of the Guru. Puja, Dhyana, Japa, all these karmas initially are to bring in that faith in the Guru, that trust in the Guru. Shraddhavan labhate. Think. Therefore, certain actions that are performed by the student at the feet of the teacher is extremely important. Never underestimate, please. And never take it so lightly, because the teacher also is observing the student and checking whether he is matured enough for receiving the knowledge. Next, the receptivity of the student also matters. Where there is shraddha, receptivity is increased. Where there is no shraddha, receptivity is cut off. Very simple example is with your school. When your school teacher, when your class teacher comes, each one have got their own favorite teachers. When that favorite teachers come, the book comes out, the textbook comes out, I have opened the page, I have written my date, I am ready for the class. And therefore, my mind is very, very ready to receive the knowledge. Where a teacher whom I don't like come to the class, then my inertia plays a role. My mind runs away. Runs away from where? From the very classroom. Whatever the teacher teaches, I might be looking. My eyes are open. My ears are open. Yet, I don't receive any knowledge because the receiving antenna is no more functional. Reason? No Shraddha. Think. Therefore, Tat Paduka Sevyatam here refers to the Shraddha which the student has towards the teacher. And that Shraddha will definitely take him far ahead in the path of sadhana. And earlier, when I did not have good, thoughts about Vedanta Shastra, etc., it will change in the presence of the Guru. A very wonderful example we have with us. Param Puja Gurudev Swami Chinmayanji was an atheist before, when he did not know what is the Guru Tattva means. When he went to Param Puja Swami Shivanandji, looking at the very life of such a master, Swami Chinmayanji's whole life took a U-turn. Think. The Shraddha, Bhakti that was there in him towards the teacher, towards the Shastra, took him to the highest pinnacle of life. Therefore, Shraddhavan labhate, remember this always. Sadvidwan, teacher, upasrapyatam, and thereby going there, my mind is also purified. Chitta Shuddhi takes place in the first few period of time where Karma Yoga is given to the student. Perform the karma so that your ego is straightened. And when the teacher becomes satisfied with the student, then the teacher may say, now, having worked in the ashram, I see your Shraddha. Now you are fit to ask a question. You may ask a question. Pranipatena, pariprashnena. Pariprashnena, what are the questions I have in my mind? I have an opportunity to present it in front of the teacher. And every class starts with a Shanti mantra. Sahana bhavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Look at it. Ma vidvishavahai. May we not come into loggerheads. Meaning what? May we not have difference of opinion. Please protect me. Please protect the teacher. Let this activity of teaching go smoothly. Ma vidvishavahai. May we not have difference of opinion. Even if there is a difference of opinion, let us clarify with each other and clear it up. Thus, the mind of the student is streamlined through proper pattern of seva. Think? Very, very, very important. Pratidinam, all the time tat paduka sevyatam, unless and until the teacher says you are ready for the knowledge and gives you the knowledge, till then pada seva. After that, you don't have to be told to do the pada seva, automatically you will do it. Why? That is the glory of a guru. That is the wonder of a teacher. The teacher's teaching takes you away from the sansara and ingratitude, kritagnyata bhava, automatically the student would have surrendered and nitya pada seva will continue. Think how beautiful. Pratidinam tat paduka sevyatam. And when the teacher asks the question, now you may ask a question, my dear student. What should you ask? Guru, what did you have for breakfast? Is that the question to be asked? Look at that beautiful pada there. Brahma eka aksharam arthyatam. May you come to know the artha, meaning of eka aksharam. Eka aksharam has got two meanings. One is pranava, omkara. The other meaning is ekam represents the non-dual supreme Atma. Please be attentive again. The non-dual supreme Atma, which is ekameva advitiyam Brahma, indicates the limitlessness of space. Ekam means that which is all pervasive. There is no second to it. Sarvavyapi. When it is Sarvavyapi, he is everywhere. He is not limited by space. Antarbahishcha tat sarvam vyapya narayana sthitah. Antar bahishcha vyapyam. The one who is all pervasive, meaning who is beyond the concept of space. And what is the second one? Aksharam. Na ksharam yasya vidyate. The one who is imperishable. What do you mean by imperishable? The one who is there at all periods of time. Bhuta, bhavya, bhavat, prabhu. Meaning, the one who has no limitations of time. Who is beyond the concept of time. Thus, one who has conquered the concepts of space and time, beyond space and time. Look at that Nama which we chanted. Ajaya Namaha. Who has no birth. Because birth indicates presence of time. Avyayaya Namaha. Avinashine Namaha. Who has no vinasha. Meaning he is eternal. Brahma Eka Aksharam. We will continue tomorrow. Remember, we were supposed to conclude on the 12th, but because our time is shortened, this text is such that any amount of time is not sufficient, but we will try to finish, and our talk series will extend up to 14th of this month. And we will try to conclude. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम।